have relied on well-wishers and the community to put food on the table. Whereas they feel abandoned, neglected and dejected, they continue to cling on to hope that their parents will return and their story will have a fairy tale ending of living happily ever after. Wycliffe Oketch with details of their painful childhood.
A reality that children are abandoned or neglected by their biological parents for one reason or another. But for whatever reason it is, the neglected or abandoned children face a myriad of challenges ranging from food insecurity to psychosocial distress. That is the story of Irene and her 3 younger siblings. Kamgan village in Nyakach, Kisumu County. 17-year-old Irene Akinyi is in charge of caring for her 3 younger siblings, Fabian Ochieng, Oscar Otieno and Calvin Soliech. They are aged between 14 and 8 years. It is lunchtime and Irene is busy preparing porridge. This is the first meal of the day and potentially the only meal for the day after sleeping on an empty stomach. As she prepares the meal, Calvin, who is the youngest, is washing clothes. His brother Fabian has to step in to assist him air the clothes to dry. We are welcomed to their 2-roomed house. The house is dark and furniture is old. The 2 beds in the second room have no mattresses. They have had to improvise by stuffing bed sheets to form a thick layer to act as a mattress. In a region where malaria is endemic, they do not have a mosquito net, which puts them at risk of contracting malaria. But what is their story? It all began in 2015 when their parents disagreed and their mother, Melka Chieng, left her matrimonial home. For 2 years, their father, Gordon Okoth, a construction worker, took up his role of caring for them. But one day he stopped coming home.
Mama katoka 2015. Akacha huyu kama kuna miaka 5. Ni miezi 5. Alikosana baba kakaa akaanza kutoka 2017 anaenda Sondu. Saa zingine arudi.
The area assistant chief Zablon Awiti would later trace him living in a rented house in Sondu Market, 4 kilometers from his home. The assistant chief and children's department at Paponditi took action against him. He promised to honor his parental duty and care for his children, a promise he never honored. He once again fled and his whereabouts to date are unknown.
In fact, from Paponditi, he did not went back home. He went up today. And before that, he was staying somewhere in Sondo on your way to Crystal Lane. But right now, I've tried to look for him, but he's nowhere to be found in Sondo here.
Tunakuanga na shida saa zingine tunalala njaa. Ama ukiomba jirani. Inafanya hadi saa zingine unaweza enda ukaiba chakula kwa shamba ya mtu.
The children have equally had a rough patch in their education journey. Despite getting an admission to school through the help of the assistant chief, their attendance is irregular.
So they were going to school angry, so they were seeing as if they were now suffering.
They really need food because lack of food is leading them not to be in school.
Irene tells us that after sitting for the Kenya Certificate of Primary Education exams in 2020, she was admitted to St. Hilarious Secondary School. However, she had to transfer to Luanda Secondary School to be closer to her siblings.
Tuliuza miti tukanunua nayo vitabu na uniform nikawapeleka shule.
Yvonne Chepkoech, a child protection volunteer, says she has tried to assist the children and get well-wishers to chip in every once in a while, but it has not been an easy journey, neither is it sustainable.
They feel that the society is hostile to them, so they have withdrawn. But they are bright children, and a follow-up to the schools will reveal that these children have potential. They are bright children.
So, what does the law say about children who find themselves in such a predicament? John Wainaina, a child protection officer in Nyakach Sub-County, explains.
If there are no immediate relatives, then we can look for these foster care parents, and if need be, we look for a permanent solution. That is adoption.
According to Wainaina, there are 2 options for Irene and her siblings: family-based alternative care or institutionalization. The children can also be enlisted under the social protection program as a child-headed home for assistance.
We can link these children with our foster care parents. We have a very big register here for such parents. their parents work for the need to keep children who may not be their biological children. And that is, I think, where these children best fit.
The Children Act 2022 prioritizes placing vulnerable children in familial care as opposed to sending them to an institution.
The family setting is the best place for the child. But if there are other options, of the other extreme cases, then we may even subject them to committing them to children's homes, which is a last resort.
The 2010 Constitution subjects parents who abandon or neglect their children to stiffer penalties, including imprisonment, depending on the magnitude of the case. The parents could also be charged with child neglect.
They can't just do the necessary by jailing them. We only need to convince the court that by jailing them, the children will not be affected in any way.
But as the four siblings struggle with meeting their everyday needs, they cling to the hope that their parents will return and give them the happy life ever after that they only read about in storybooks. Well, in the event that you know of any case or will come across a case that is similar to that of Irene and her siblings, all you need to do as a concerned Kenyan is to report the matter to the local authorities or call 116, which is a toll-free line. This way, the child or children will get the assistance they require. For Channel 1, I am Wycliffe Oketch.